All right, fellas, we've got some big news. Coming out of the Saudi camp, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has just confirmed they have signed Ryan Garcia. The deal is done. Ryan Garcia is set to return to the ring, and with so many rumors circling of late, I've resisted covering the current story until we got something a bit more concrete than just the hearsay that's been going around yet. This move seems to validate some of these rumors, although this post didn't exactly say who they are fighting next. We do have our hands on the timeline. They are setting out, and we could too have a good idea what could be the next few fights, which could include some of the biggest fights that we've been waiting so long for. But just quickly, if you love boxing, make sure to subscribe. And I'll keep you in the loop now. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia has been one of the biggest stories in boxing over the past year, yet you know the story. Everyone thinks Ryan's crazy. He wins about, he pops with PS and the wig gets revoked. And a whole bunch of trash talking in between, yet because of all this drama, it has made us want to see it all again. And even though this fight was in April of last year, the drama has remained relevant mainly because of each party's different stunts they're pulling, but regardless, it's one of the most demanded current matchups, yet with Garcia being banned for a year, we've had to wait, and the rematch seemed clouded in uncertainty, but alike to a lot in boxing at the moment. In steps the Saudis. Now they signal they did want to make the rematch, but it was all a bit quiet. Until last week we had the Ring Awards, which almost every relevant boxer went to, including both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. For the first time since the original match, they were in the same place at the same time. They did have a vague confrontation, which was just Bill Haney yelling at Ryan Garcia getting a car, but aside from that, them being there signal that both parties were at least in talks with the Saudis. Everyone there was there to discuss future deals of Rard season, and I think we're set to see a lot more come out in the next few weeks about your favorite boxers. I'll make sure to have you covered, but still, we weren't exactly sure if a deal was completed, with rumors of BLK Prime being brought back to life going around. There was some doubt, yet this post by His Excellency today has put a full stop to it. Although with this deal we aren't seeing Haney versus Garcia next. Just give me a second and let me explain what we have been handed is the roadmap to the rematch. The rumored deal first includes a card in May somewhere in the United States. The Ring magazine has come out and claimed that both Garcia and his rival Haney will be showcased against different opponents on the same card in May. If both Haney and Garcia manage to win their respective bouts, they will advance to an October rematch scheduled to open Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. Now, this return is scheduled for just after Ryan's ban finishes up. Now, this isn't the first time we have seen this sort of thing happen by the Saudis. If you remember, one of their first cards was the Day of Reckoning, which was meant to showcase both Joshua and Wilder on the same card, with if they both won they would have ended up fighting each other. Yet of course Wilder lost, and the rest is history. So we are set to see one of these cards once again, and it's exciting time for all you fans in the States, with this event guaranteed to be fireworks. But who could both of them be fighting? Will there be a couple bums that will basically guarantee the rematch? Well, I don't think so. The rumor which has been going around, which seemed to be confirmed by the man himself, is that we could see Ryan Garcia be the headliner, facing off against Teofimo Lopez. If this happens, this could be almost as big as the Haney-Garcia rematch. We've all been waiting for Lopez to finally take a big fight and stop fighting journeyman, and we could finally be set to see this. This matchup excites me, seeing the contrast between Lopez's counter punching ring IQ against Garcia's pace and sharp combinations is a perfect clash of styles, whilst along with that the build-up would set to be fireworks. With both having huge egos and both being able to run their mouths, this seems like the most likely scenario currently. But there are rumors of Pitbull and Boots still circling, with Boots being by far the most unlikely of three, so Garcia has a tough challenge ahead of him. Regardless, but who could we see Haney fight? Well, Haney put out a tweet signaling he is done at 140, so it could be an opponent at 147. This could be also where they both end up for the rematch. The main opponent being rumored is José Ramírez, the 29-2 Ramírez recently lost a unanimous decision against Arnold Barroza Jr. and his only other loss comes against a prime Josh Taylor. Although not as hard as a fight compared to 2, he is still a tough opponent, but he does also fight at super lightweight. So Devin could be lying about the fact. He's done at 140. I guess we'll have to wait for official announcements to confirm. But this is the main rumored opponent for Devin, and this is kind of what I expected, more so than a Garcia 2 matchup. It's just more of a typical comeback fight. But it still will be a tough comeback for Haney. But he should be able to take home the win. My other concern for Haney, though, is this fight might actually be at 147, to put it simply. Haney has no power. He's got pillow hands. His last car was against Antonio Morin in 2019 at 135, even when versing incredibly smaller fighters than himself. Against Kosas and Lomachenko, he still couldn't put them away. LNA even put a beating on him. Devin, moving up with the same power, will only be a disadvantage, and with his chin now being in question, taking heavier shots will only bear further trouble. But no matter who they fight, we're set to see them both back in the ring sometime in May. That will be a truly huge event, and as long as they both win, we will see the rematch. When the Saudis are serious about something, they make it happen. But the question turns to, can Garcia and Haney really get past their next opponent? If Garcia fights Tio next, he has a huge challenge in front of him, judo being probably one of the toughest fights he could take at 140. Massive for a comeback fight. I really didn't expect it. Well for Haney, has he truly recovered from the last Garcia matchup? Will he end up like a Tim Tszyu? They mentally block out the thoughts of the last match only to be haunted by it, end up losing a matchup they shouldn't. I just don't want Haney to be overlooking his next opponent Tim Tszyu style. He's coming off what was really a hard loss, and that Garcia rematch isn't guaranteed, so he'll need to make sure he's both 100% mentally and physically ready to stage a proper comeback. But lastly, we got to give some prop to His Excellency for making these fights happen. No matter what your opinions are when the Saudis getting involved in boxing, you just can't deny that they are bringing the sport back to life, bringing the BS that the fans want to see. The other side of the sport. You see, Tank is complaining that the fighters under the Rad banner are only doing it for the money, while he's hypocritically versing Lamont Roach. A fight no fan wants to see. That's a fight for the money, not this. The rest of the stars are making the big fights happen, and that's something you got to command. But now, I want to hear what you think. Who do you reckon and Haney will be set to fight in May, and how do you see the rematch going down? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy, please consider like and subscribing. It does a ton to help the channel. Yet thanks for watching, fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.